2004 was a significant year for both Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, setting the stage for one of the greatest rivalries in the history of the sport that still lives on. Roger became world No. 1 in February, although just a month later he was beaten by the 17-year-old Rafael Nadal in Miami, with the Spaniard proving to be Federer's closest rival in the next 4.5 years before he managed to pass the Swiss on the ATP list and take the throne. Roger got his revenge in Miami a year later, beating Nadal in a grueling 5-setter before Rafa moved in front in the head-to-head meetings again after his triumph in the semis of the Roland Garros in June. Their fourth clash came in Dubai 2006 and Nadal defeated his great rival and the defending champion 2-6, 6-4, 6-4 in an hour and 53 minutes on March 5, claiming the 13th ATP title in the fourth consecutive on hard courts. A foot injury forced Nadal to skip all the events between Madrid at the end of 2005 and Marseille in February, competing it only for the second time after a comeback and highly motivated to make some ground after skipping significant events like the Masters Cup and Australian Open. Also, he managed to end Roger's unmatched streak on the hard courts that started at Rotterdam a year earlier and to become the first player who has beaten the Swiss after 56 consecutive wins on the most common surface, an open-era record that will hardly be surpassed. Roger was in the league of his own in the first set, although Rafa found the way to make a counterattack in set number 2 and bring the match home in under 2 hours for one of the most important wins of the season. Thanks to that opening set, Federer won 7 points more than Nadal overall, but he got broken in the 9th game of sets 2 and 3 to find himself on the losing side after winning 3 consecutive Dubai crowns. They both scored 3 breaks of serve and it was Nadal who arranged his winning return games better to emerge as a winner. The Spaniard served at 70% and he needed that against such a strong rival, staying in touch in his service games after the first set and waiting for a chance on the return patiently. Roger had better percentages on both the first and second serve, but those 2 late breaks he suffered cost him dearly as he had no time to pull them back and extend the encounter. Nadal followed Federer's pace in the shortest points, hitting well after the server with his first ground stroke on the return and outplaying Roger in the mid-range points up to 8 or 9 strokes. Surprisingly, Federer had a clear edge in the points with 10 strokes or more, although that wasn't enough to cross the finish line and extend the unbeaten Dubai run. The defending champion had the match in his hands right from the start, winning 4 points in a row on the return in Game 2 for a 2-0 lead and sealing the break with a cross-court forehand winner. Nadal was pretty much powerless on the return in the entire set and he was broken at love in Game 8 to drop the opener 6-2 in just 28 minutes. Roger was on a roll, setting the pace with his forehand and punishing every shorter ball from his opponent, creating a 30-0 lead on the return in the second game of set number 2. Rafa delivered 4 good points for a pivotal hold that gave him the necessary confidence, finally creating a break point in Game 5 when Roger netted a backhand. The Swiss saved it to keep his serve intact but couldn't do the same at 4-4 when Nadal broke at love with a forehand winner to move 5-4 ahead and get a chance to serve for the set. He held at 30 after a volley error from Federer and the match was very much alive now, only with the momentum that switched to Nadal's side of the net. The Spanish teenager and broke again at the start of the decider with a beautiful forehand cross-court winner, establishing himself as the ruler on the court and the favorite to cross the finish line first. Federer restored his shots and was back on the level terms with a break in Game 4, confirming it with a hold at love a few minutes later for a 3-2 advantage. They both served well in the following 3 games and the crucial moment occurred in Game 9 when Roger sprayed a forehand error to drop serve and move Rafa a game away from the championship. The world number 2 needed no second invitation and he completed his triumph with a hold at love, celebrating the title after a forced backhand error from Roger and breaking into tears before the trophy ceremony, mighty relieved he was back on the winning way for the first time since October last year in such a long break.